the time. People putting off tuning up their furnace because they don't want to take the time to spend the money to get it done. But it only takes about 90 minutes and costs just $88. It's just pennies compared to the huge problems and expenses that can rack up if you don't get your furnace tuned up. You'll also save money on your energy bills and your system will last longer. Don't be penny-wise and pound foolish. Call Service Champions for a precision furnace tune-up today. Our number is 833-777-7777 or find us online at servicechampions.com.
We conquer cancer. For the non-committed who's out of treatment options. For the doctor who has a brilliant idea that needs research funding. For the people who faced cancer head-on and climbed incredible heights while they were with it. For the children who celebrate the end of chemo. We conquer cancer for all who have been touched by it. Conquer Cancer accelerates breakthroughs in research and care for every cancer, every patient, everywhere. Join us at conquer.org.
Keep your home sanitized with Quick Services. Save up to 40%. Visit quick.com.
KSI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
Today, the part of Bill Handle will be played by not Bill Handle. I mean, it's Handle show, so see the difference. And now, here's not Bill Handle.
AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Good morning, it's the Bill Handle Show. Bill on his European vacation. Wayne Resnick sitting in. And because it's Friday, we're headed into the weekend. People looking for television programs and movies to entertain themselves. So we have ABC News entertainment correspondent Matt Wolf to help us out with those decisions. Good morning, Matt.
Wayne, a pleasure. What's going on today, Matt? How are you?
Good. Not too much. Now listen, let's first deal with the thing that must be discussed, and that is Avatar, The Way of Water. It is here. People have been jonesing for this movie literally for years. And what about it? Is it going to live up to the hype, and is it worth seeing?
So let me ask you this simple question. Do you like blue people?
Well,
Do you like 3 hours and 10 minutes of blue people?
no. I can definitively answer that question.
All right, wait, let me preface this by saying, Avatar The Way of Water, of course, is out, released yesterday by 21st Century Studios, which, of course, is owned by Disney, ABC's parent company here, so let's get the disclaimers out of the way here, and I will be as objective as possible with this. A couple of weeks ago, when I went to go see it, I'm thinking to myself, geez, 3 hours and 10 minutes. James Cameron, a little bit excessive, don't you think? Especially for something that the first movie came out in 2009, Wayne. Think about that. 13 years and everything that has happened. Advancements and effects in movie storytelling overall. We're coming on the backside of a pandemic here. The box office just isn't the same as what it was in 2019. Throw all that into a mix, and I'm going, this is a tough sell. This is going to be a really tough sell. Well, I'll tell you this. After 3 hours and 10 minutes, I looked at my watch. I couldn't believe how quick it went by, at least for me. This movie is stunning. It is completely immersive. What I would suggest is if you're going to go see it, go big, get the 3D glasses, get the big cup of popcorn, slow down on the soft drink, though, because, again, it is 3 hours and 10 minutes. You want to practice some discipline in that regard. But my goodness, James Cameron's done it again. It's that simple.
Wow. Does I need to have seen the first one to fully enjoy this movie?
I would say, it depends on your definition of what fully is. You know what I mean? It does take place 10 years, roughly, after the first film. Jake Sully, played by Sam Worthington, has a family now on Pandora, and everything is lovely. Everything is beautiful. You've got this huge opening sequence where you're just like, oh my God, like wow, and then all of a sudden, literally, all hell breaks loose. And you don't necessarily need to see that first movie just to enjoy the sheer mastery here of what James Cameron has delivered as far as a movie-going experience is concerned. And that's what it's about, right? It's about a shared experience. It's like, why pay, $50, for two people to go in, spend this kind of money and, pay that sort of thing because you're getting an immersive experience here. And I don't care how great of a setup you have in your basement or whatever from the last couple of years. Nothing can match the experience of a movie like Top Gun Maverick or this one while you're sitting in the theaters.
It sounds like you're talking about a lot of high-energy, fast-moving action sequences. Is that what we have a lot of here in this movie?
You do, but it also takes time to breathe. I mean, the underwater sequences are some of the best motion captures that I've ever seen put on film. I mean, you feel like you're actually in the water, swimming around with these creatures that come from, Cameron's imagination. I mean, you got to give it up to the guy. He was a high creative, and he certainly put a stamp on this. Do you know what I'm saying? And when the action kicks in, it kicks in. And I can tell you the last half hour of this movie, there's a sequence that ranks up there with one of the top 10 action sequences in modern movies. It's just absolutely terrific in that regard. Now, the big question is, does it do the kind of business that the original, did 13 years ago? Maybe not. Even James Cameron said, this movie, in order to break even, has to become the third or fourth highest grossing movie ever. Okay? And that's a tall order to begin with. So we'll have to see. It's going to have to do really well over the holiday frame. It's going to rely on word of mouth saying, hey, yeah, spend the extra money. Go see it in 3D. And we'll see how it all shakes out in a few weeks.
All right, I'm expecting to see one or more pull quotes from you on the next posters. Now, so let's finish up this delightful discussion with this. That, you said it's 3 hours and 15 minutes?
3 hours and 10 minutes, roughly.
3 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. Please now offer, either from the world of film or the world of streaming or whatever, please offer an alternative for those of us who just cannot sit in a chair for 3 hours.
Well, if you're into streaming, which a lot of people are, and you've got so many choices with streaming now, right? Which is another challenge that Avatar has to go up against, because not everybody is going to rush out to see this movie. Some people might pull Larry David and go, So, go over to Paramount Plus. If you've got Paramount Plus, you've got the debut this weekend of 1923. This is the new Yellowstone prequel starring Harrison Ford and Dame Helen Mirren. If you're into Yellowstone, take that back. You don't have to be into Yellowstone to enjoy this. It tells the saga of the Death family, which we, have come to know and love, or despise, depending on your point of view, in the last 5 seasons on Yellowstone. But much like James Cameron, Yellowstone's creator, Taylor Sheridan, he really knows how to pull you into these worlds and keep you there by giving you this almost cinematic experience. I mean, Taylor Sheridan, this is a guy who does not go for sound stages. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to shoot a Western, a Taylor Sheridan Western, you are going to learn how to ride a horse, you are going to film out in Montana in the cold and the heat, just to get that realistic expectations onto film. And Taylor Sheridan is a master of that. And I'm here to say 1923, it's a great experience. And the first episode, I think, is just a little over an hour. And it's got Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
That's more agreeable. Matt, wonderful to talk to you. Thank you so much.
The same. Have a good holiday, man.
There you go, ABC News entertainment correspondent Matt Woodcock. I wonder what he thought about Avatar. Let's get some news from Jennifer Jones-Lee, and then we're going to talk about why people who do the right thing get punished all the time. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Jen live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
The South is recovering after a string of tornadoes caused damage across several states. Over 50 tornadoes were reported in at least 7 states, including Louisiana, where 3 people were killed and several others were injured. Kevin Spacey is due to appear in court in London by video link today on 7 new sex offense charges that date back between 2001 and 2004. Now, Democrats want to ban former President Trump from holding office under the 14th Amendment that states no one who took an oath to support the Constitution but then engaged in insurrection or rebellion can hold future office. Let's get a look at your drive with BKFI in the sky.
That's your van. We're circling over the Ventura Freeway, the westbound 101 before the 405. Before it was on, well, just to afraid I thought it was going to clear quickly. This has been working out for an hour and 15 minutes. Westbound 101 before the 405, 3 left open, 2 right blocked, and our solid backup for World Canyon. I don't know what the deal is here, but they're having a tough time getting this clear. There's been a lot of activity down there. Now, getting over, it depends where you're going. If you're only going to Van Nuys Boulevard, that's where it's going to go. Use Riverside Drive. But the others, if you're going to go west up the 405, you got to use Burbank, Ventura Boulevard, any of those get you on the other side. Eastbound, still in good shape. Long time place here. Jeff Ball, KFI in the sky.
This is an agent with his Low Auburn. This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Western Financial Group. 2 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. Then the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171. 800-809-7171.
Hey, there's a better way to fly. Instead of being stuck in endless lines and packed onto planes, try simplifying your travel with Surf Air. Saving an average of 2 hours on every trip and avoid crowded airports is a new way to fly private. With Surf Air, you'll fly from smaller airports closer to your home. There are no lines, no waiting, and no stress. SurfAir.com, the best alternative to commercial air travel that makes flying easy. Get a free quote on your next flight at SurfAir.com. There's a better way to fly private.
I'm totally filled with holiday spirit and sugar. Tragic. And now the top 5 reasons to visit Morongo. Number 5.
Here's the best. The best for you, the best for everybody. Voted Best of the Southland by LA Times readers.
Number 4.
Gift a Day Giveaway. 15 days, 15 gifts. Earn 500 points on your rewards card weekdays till the 21st. And get that day's gift.
3.
Don't miss our goal! The biggest sporting event on the planet is on everywhere you eat, stay, and play at Morongo.
And the number 2.
Sheena Easton and Taylor Dane, live January 21st.
And the number 1 reason.
It's an international festival of flavors. It's all you can eat. Try the marketplace today.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo, good times for everybody. Donate your car today at carsforgive.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum 2022 tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
Hurry! Last chance to donate for 2022.
The bicycle. The Toy Fire Truck. Instead of giving gifts that kids will outgrow, invite grandparents and friends to contribute to your child's future with the UNEST app. UNEST allows parents to create an investment account for their kids that makes it easy to gift funds that can be used for college tuition, a first car, and more, just by sharing the link. To get started, download the UNEST app from the App Store or Google Play. See terms and conditions at unest.co. That's UNEST.co.
The holidays are here. What's on your menu? Look to Stater Brothers for starters all the way to dessert. Have your eye on a tender and juicy roast. Our beef bone and ribeye roast to just $5.77 a pound. Savory Smithfield bone and spiral sliced half hams are only $1.49 a pound. Fresh green beans are just $1.49 a pound. Even better, tossed with cream bacon at $4.99 a pound. And get in the spirit. Save 30% on all 750 milliliter bottles of liquor when you buy 4 or more. Happy holidays from
Peter Brothers Market.
Hey, Steve Gregory. Coming up this week on Unsolved, we highlight another cold case or challenging case that needs just that one little piece of evidence or a witness to step up. It's the only show in Southern California that gives investigators a chance to go deep on a case.
They stay with you. The ones that are unsolved, they stay with you. Unsolved with Steve Gregory. Tomorrow night at 8 on KFI.
KFI AM 645 everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Good morning, it's the Bill Handel Show. Bill on vacation, Wayne Resnick here, and once again, people who did the right thing, but then they were asked to do are being punished. This time, I'm talking about solar, putting solar in your house. Remember when they said you should put solar in your house and help the planet and lower emissions and help also you're helping your utility by taking some of the load off the overloaded grid. Well, now the Public Utility Commission here in California voted to sharply reduce the incentive payments that you get if you put the solar in your house and you generate some of your own electricity, which you're still helping everybody out, at least that was the theory, but now you're going to be paid a lot less for the excess energy that you basically are selling back to the utility. And it's raising a lot of debates about whether it was a good idea in the first place, and also a larger debate for me about whether we should flock to do what we're being asked to do all the time, because it seems like it comes back and bites us in the butt. This isn't the only example. I'll get to another one in a second, but what happened here is there was a huge push, as you know. You heard ads here on KFI about the big incentives you could get for putting solar in your house, and it's true, and they were pretty nice. And it's because of something called net metering, and net metering says you have a meter and you get power from the electric company, but now you can generate your own energy on site right there at your house. And then if you generate more than you need, it gets fed back to the utility and you get a financial credit on your electric bill. And depending on your situation, there were people who were paying zero and there were people who were getting money back. Some people said almost from the get-go that this wasn't fair. That what was happening is you're not paying anything for electricity now. And it's not just the cost of the actual juice that gets sent to your house. Your electric bill also consists of things like infrastructure, transmission costs, wildfire fighting costs. And by generating your own electricity, you're making other people's electric bills higher. Poor people who don't have houses, even if they have a little house, they can't afford to put solar on it. Now their bills go up because look at you, you greedy jerk, generating so much of your own electricity. That was the basic argument. And apparently now, all the people at the Public Utilities Commission agree with that, because it was a unanimous vote to do this. And that's what's happening there. Whether or not we're going to see nobody putting solar in their house anymore remains to be seen. It's not that there's no credit, it's just that it's a lot less. It makes the cost of putting solar in your house come more out of your pocket. I assume this means you have a longer timeline to recoup your investment if you're getting reimbursed at a lower rate for the extra electricity that you are generating. And interestingly, this will not affect customers of LADWP. LADWP is its own separate municipal utility. It is not a for-profit corporation like Edison and PG&E, San Diego Gas and Electric. But all the customers that have any of those bigwigs, it's going to affect you. Now, one of the things that happened is this. Here's kind of the next phase. So be careful. People put solar on their houses because of these great incentives, and then they were really, truly helping out the grid, except only during the daytime. And so there was an excess of power many afternoons, more power than anybody knows what to do with. And then the sun goes down, and now there's not enough power again. And so what the utility companies and the public utilities commissions are saying now is, oh, it was nice that you put the solar on your house, but now you need to do something else for us. You need to put battery backup systems in place so you can store the energy you generated during the day in a battery and then use it at your house at night, which is fine. Although notice that what happens if instead of the excess energy going back to the utility and you getting paid for it, it's stored in a battery system that you have paid to put in your house. It means you use it for your house and they don't have to pay for it. And I just want to see what will happen in 5 years if there are incentives for you to now add backup batteries.
In about 8 or 9 years. And I didn't even remember it existed until Bellio sent that to me today.
Tuesday I sent this the Conway Christmas song and said, what? And she laughed and she thought I was kidding. But then I said, I remember that. Who's the gentleman? Jeff Roldan is the guy that sent it, but he's not the guy that did it.
No.
Don't know who the name is. Who the guy that did it?
I just
Texted him. I said, hey, thank you for the song. And I thank you for this. And so I'm sure he'll return at one point.
Yeah, but that really, I mean, somebody
love that.
That's right.
Like that's a guy who, yeah. I love it.
And all the references are in there. You know, Burbank, Happy, the track.
And it's not. Generally, I'm not a big fan of that type of stuff. But because you have to be in my ear, you have to be right on it. And that was fantastic. References. He isn't over the top with it. He just sings the song. Yeah, he does it straight. I love it.
All right. Well, by the end of the show, I will properly thank the gentleman that did that. Excellent. All right. Great review coming in on this one. Comments are live on KFI 41 up close to KFI's 24-hour newsroom.
Energy officials in California and parts of the Midwest and South Central United States are pushing the energy grid to a breaking point, which could mean energy shortfalls over the next 5 years. Construction workers from Iowa seen chasing a police officer through the Capitol on January 6th. The video has been sentenced to 5 years in prison, and federal safety regulators are looking into the change to autonomous cruise robo-taxis coming to unexpectedly hard stops, causing accidents and stranding passengers. From the Southern California Toyota dealers traffic center, let's go places. Crash in Norwalk. Approximately 605 northbound, right up to 105. It's involving the big rig. It has the 3 right lanes shut down, so it's causing a mess from South Street. Griffith Park 134 eastbound just before Forest Lawn Drive. The crash there is blocking the carpool lane, causing some delays from Pass Avenue. And if you're in Irvine on the 5 southbound, just before Clover, you'll see a crash that's blocking the right lane of causing some stop-and-go delays as you come across Tustin Ranch Road. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Pedro Moreno.
Hey, this is Ricky Kennedy. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Merrill, a Bank of America company.
The NHL is thinking about expanding its schedule from 82 to 84 games in hopes of creating more rivalry matchups. The Kings host the Sharks tomorrow. The Chargers will entertain the Titans Sunday, coming off a win last week against the Dolphins. And the Rams will play the Monday night game against the Packers. The White Sox and outfielder Andrew Benintendi have agreed on a 5-year contract worth $75 million. I'm Frank Aaron. With Merrill, the bull always has your back. Learn more at ml.com/bullish. Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Spencer, and Smith Incorporated, registered broker-dealer. Registered investment advisor, member SIPC. This report is sponsored by Autonomy.com.
Ready to drive electric but tired of high-interest loans and long-term leases? I'm Scott Painter, CEO of Autonomy. Our EV subscription is the cheapest, fastest, and easiest way to get into a Tesla. Just a 3-month minimum lets you try an EV without the commitment. Get details at Autonomy.com. Restrictions apply.
I'm Rick Edelman. You've heard me here on the radio every week giving you all the personal finance education and information you need. Starting in January, this award-winning radio show becomes a daily podcast, and you can continue to listen to the show for free like always. Get the show right now at thetruthayf.com. That's thetruthayf.com. You can also listen for free everywhere you get your podcasts. Google, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. I'm here to tell you what you need to know about longevity, retirement security, exponential technologies, blockchain and digital assets, and health and wellness. These are the personal finance topics that matter most. I've delivered this to you for 32 years, and I'm going to keep on delivering it to you. Now, every day, starting in January. So stay with me and keep listening for free to The Truth About Your Future with Rick Edelman at thetruthayf.com. That's thetruthayf.com and wherever you get your podcasts.
Accidents don't care if you're driving to a doctor's appointment, taking your kids to school, or heading to a holiday party. Accidents do happen, and this time of year it's busier than ever. We have helped thousands of victims at the worst time. We're here if you need us. 888-OPO-WIN. OPOLaw.com.
This holiday season, give the gift of unlimited fun with a Knott's Berry Farm Season Pass. With unlimited visits now and all through 2023, a Knott's Berry Farm Season Pass is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Whether it's springtime treats at Boysenberry Festival, summer sizzle at the all-new Fiesta Village area, fall fun at Knott's Spooky Farm, winter cheer at Merry Farm, or all of the above and more. Experience it all with a Knott's Berry Farm Season Pass. Check a Season Pass off their list at Knott's.com. It's Ryan Seacrest here. So, you tested positive for COVID. What's next? Treat yourself. COVID treatments are free. Taken by pill, these medications can stop the illness from getting serious. So, treat yourself. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to find free treatment today. Again, it's 833-422-4255. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
It's the most wonderful time. Walking in the winter wonderland.
iHeartRadio and iHeart Christmas music. Playing now on Coast 103.5, your official holiday music station.
My girlfriend and I got in an argument because she wants babies, and I like practicing making babies, but I didn't tell her that I cannot make babies due to an unfortunate circumstance accident. When I was
What kind of unfortunate accident do you have when you're an infant that you can't have babies? Was it like a circumcision that went wrong and they cut off way too much, like in my case?
It was terrible. I think my mama hired a butcher to do it.
Wow. Yeah, you're probably not Jewish. They do a good job. Handle on the law. Tomorrow morning at 8 on KFI.
More stimulating talk.
If you're injured and need a lawyer, go to handleonthelaw.com.
I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around. And the rumpus and rock, it's so comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go.
KFI AM 640 Conway Show, and I got the information on that song. Of course, it was written by Jeff Roldan, who's a very talented man, who also does a lot of video production, and he's done some documentaries that are kick-ass. So he wrote it, and then Sean Sheldrake performed it. So it's written by Jeff Roldan and performed by Sean Sheldrake, S-H-E-L-D-R-A-K-E. That is sensational. That is great, man. Like, truly good. Yeah, those guys really knocked it out.
Yeah, that was effort put in. Like, they didn't just,
Right. And I'm like an idiot at Christmas. You know, every day until people get tired of it. But I gotta check this. So I gotta play every segment tonight. Sorry. All right, it's gonna happen. Yeah, sorry. Stockings are I'm sorry for what I'm going to do. To the radio 640 KFI. Ding dong. Can rejoice in peace on earth, goodwill, and I'll tell you why. Here we go, everybody. It's a Conway Christmas, ding dong. Everybody just sing along. It's a Conway Christmas. Come on with that three. And all you gotta do is sing ding dong. It's a Conway Christmas. Open them up, one, open them up. It's a night from 6 to 10. It's a podcast, play it again. Conway Christmas. Okay, so if it's 6 to 10, then it's probably 4 or 5 years old. Because when I first started here, I was not doing 6 to 10. I was doing 7 to 10. And then we expanded to 6 to 10. It was John and Ken from 2 to 6. And I think it was, right? 2 to 6? Or 3 to 7? 3 to 7 was, yes, 3 to 7. then they went 2 to 6. So yeah, that's how it happened. John and Ken were 3 to 7, which is in the strictest definition of, well, I think, Croce, you've been in radio longer than I have. Is the strictest definition of afternoon drive, famously and historically over the years, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.?
For my purposes, as long as I've been at KFI, the drive time for radio purposes was always 2 to 6.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Because it was always, traditionally, especially coming originally like from Coast, the air shifts were 6 to 10, 10 to 2, 2 to 6, 6 to 10.
Oh, I see. Yeah, but morning drive has always been, since I was a child, 6 to 10. Or 6 to 9. 6 a.m. to 9
Yeah,
a.m.
it was always some little 6 to 9, 6 to 10, yeah, 5 to 9. Because I think Handle at one point was 5 to 9.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, okay. Because Rush was 9 to noon.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Wow, that's a while ago.
Yeah, it used to be 5 to 9, at least as far as, again, Handle was concerned.
Yeah. But that is a really good song, man. Those guys, they really knocked it out.
I've gotten 3 emails from people saying, I've never heard that, and it's phenomenal.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the latest one I just got.
Oh, that's great. It's that. There we go. It's that from 6 to 10 to 10. It's a podcast, play it again. It's on Ray Christmas. I passed out Uncle in a Christmas tree. That's a reference to my Uncle Tom, who we had a Christmas party at our house in the valley. And he came out from, I think he came from Oregon. He lived at the winters in Oregon, summers in Canada / Detroit. And he came to our Christmas party, and he had about, 38 drinks. He liked to drink, liked to take a drink, and he passed out under the Christmas tree, and nobody said anything. Nobody went to help him up. He was just on top of the gifts and out. And he was slumped in under the tree, and everybody walked by him, and nobody even broke stride. And nobody.
That tells me that that's not a first occurrence, or at least in some vein
That's right.
him doing things like that.
That's exactly right. And he eventually, he got up around midnight, shook the needles off, and got right back into the bar. Passed out Uncle in a Christmas. Yeah, Tommy. Never understood that mentality. Well, you don't know Tommy. We all completely understood that mentality. Never understood that mentality. Burbank's the best, and so Steel Beach. Gonna sterilize with Purell and bleach. See, I was an early adopter of that Purell and bleach. And 8, 9, 10 years before the pandemic, I was bleaching up and washing those paws. Gonna sterilize with Purell and bleach. Can't wait to sleep tonight in my REM bed. They weren't big advertisers.
Hey, Erin just popped in here and she said, this is the first time she's heard obviously as well, but she said it's actually one of the few Christmas songs that has aged really well.
That's wild, man. Well, I'll tell you a quick REM story. They were an advertiser. 2023 Cooper S hardtop 2-door for only $3.99 per month. Plus tax, $34.99 down, 36 months, 10,000 miles per year on approved credit through Mini FS. That's only $3.99 a month. Call 800-800-NIC for details or shop our entire inventory online at alexandermini.com. We're centrally located to all of Southern California in the wholesale district. That's 800-800-NIC. And remember, ho, 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 Nick can't say no.
Attention, this is a special alert for all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an overpriced auto warranty or no warranty coverage at all. Due to the increase of new and used car prices, repair costs, and the price of gas, people are keeping their cars longer than ever, which is why CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on covered auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can save thousands for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. You could save thousands on future auto repairs. Our specialists are standing by for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-471-7490. Vehicle protection plan pricing is at an all-time low. Plus, drivers who purchase this coverage today will receive rental car options, free roadside assistance, and free towing. Call 800-471-7490 now for your free quick quote. That's 800-471-7490. What do you have to lose? Call 800-471-7490. Again, 800-471-7490.
Stretch your lashes to new heights with CoverGirl Exhibition of Stretch and Strengthen Mascara. Up to 60% longer looking lashes. It's an instant lash extension effect. Lift, stretch, and lengthen with a lightweight formula infused with biotin, peptides, and pro-vitamin B5 for strength and protection against breakage. Looking for a lash extension in a bottle? Try CoverGirl Exhibition of Stretch and Strengthen Mascara for up to 60% longer lashes. From easy to beautiful, CoverGirl.
These new kitchen cabinets come with a 7,000 square foot showroom and amazing designers at the kitchen floor in Culver City. Plus, they're having a huge sale. Visit 310tickets.com today. Features and don't know what to do after a car accident? Call the accident guys for a free consultation. 877-88 guys.
Limited honesty has told you are one thing. Think of a million things for our planet. Avoid getting useless knickknacks this holiday season and look for durable items that will last for years. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
This is KNX News, 97.1 FM.
The people you know.
The voices you trust.
And a good evening to you at 6:30. I'm Brian Payne.
And I'm Karen Adams, and it's here they have a deal. The University of California and 36,000 graduate student employees have a tentative labor agreement ending a 5-week strike. The new contract reportedly boosts salaries and improves benefits. The walkout shut down classes on 10 UC campuses and delayed grading for students. The deal must still be approved by members, but it is not clear when the ratification vote will happen.
The holiday travel rush is on. Our John Baird at LAX.
If you're like me, you probably haven't even started your holiday shopping yet, but the holiday travel rush is already in full swing. Heath Montgomery is with LAX, and Heath, this place is a zoo already, and it's only December 16th.
Yeah, it sure is. It's going to stay that way for about 2 weeks.
What are going to be the most crowded days?
Sunday, December 18th is going to be the busiest day.
Is it going to be nutty?
It's going to be pretty nutty. The traffic is back, the passengers are back, and we're in full swing for the holidays.
What are the best days, though, if you want to avoid all that?
If you can fly on a holiday, like Christmas or New Year's, those are great days to travel.
And no people?
There's going to be people no matter what, but you can always avoid the biggest crowds by avoiding the busiest days.
What's the airport like for people driving here or parking here over the holidays? Can you get a space, parking space here?
Yeah, you can get a parking space. Be an educated traveler and book one in advance, and then you have a guaranteed space.
And finally, people are supposed to get here 2 to 3 hours early for their flights. What if they cut it too close?
Just don't. You don't want to miss your flight, especially if you're heading out on vacation with some family and friends. It's not worth it. Just get here.
Start packing those bags. At LAX, John Baird, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
The median price of a home in LA County is down by $11,000 compared to a year ago, and there's less demand for houses. Figures released by the California Realtors Association show the average price of a home is now $836,630. That's 44.5% less than in November last year. Economist with the association, Oscar Way, tells us the drop in prices is due to several factors.
We are seeing some slowdown partly because of affordability issue, but also because of supply constraint. All those factors kind of pull back the demand a little bit, and kind of slow down the home sales for this time of the year, and probably in the upcoming months as well.
The drop in sales dovetails with statewide trends.
LA Mayor Karen Bass put pen to paper on an executive directive to accelerate the construction of affordable and temporary housing. We get that story from our Margaret Guerrero.
Mayor Bass says if you build affordable housing under her directive, the city will complete the approval process within 60 days.
For my directive, affordable housing projects of a certain size, even if they would be approved in the end, would first be put through a maze of additional city steps. More paperwork, more hearings, more delays, more costs, and to avoid that, projects are being built with fewer units than they could be.
She says there are 2 dozen projects in the works that can move quicker as a result of this.
But I'm also hoping that it might encourage some of those projects to expand their size.
When it comes to potential NIMBYism, Mayor Bass says
The very best way to be NIMBY is for the neighbors to get together and decide where they think the housing should be. And I certainly learned over the last year that there were neighborhoods that were adamantly resistant to one thing, but they have other proposals to present.
she
the ones it's for long. The lines use up lots and lots and lots of water, so it really stops what is thirsty all the time. Charles from Phoenix, Arizona 71 FM.
A criminal referral could be coming from the January 6th committee against former President Trump. Details coming up at 6:35.
We're going to check up your traffic report.
Long Plain Savers, still playing along now, 605 north of the middle fiber. 3 red lanes are still being taken away. Clear of fuel spill, and this is going to take a little while longer. They actually extended it twice. It's been another about 2 hours, so it's been working for a while. We've got a solid backup at so far south of South Street. Before that, they start to break by right around Del Amo. 105 is going to be really tough eastbound. Eastbound coming out, eastbound just past Long Beach Boulevard. We got a crash course in here. That's why it's a little extra traffic away from the 110 freeway. So you're hearing all this talk about LAX. Things are going to get tough. If you're heading to the airport now, you're good. By chance you're leaving right now, good for you. I've got no delays getting there, at least on Century and Sepulveda, and the horseshoes look fantastic. The upper and lower, actually the upper is looking a little bit better than the lower. Santa Monica Freeway at 10 still slow from the 405 as we make our way into downtown. 405 northbound, right at the top of the pass, right at Mulholland and Skirball, we have a crash that happened in the middle lanes, might still be working in that middle lane, so you've got a really tough drive there, which is now tough because of this crash. 5 north in Irvine, backup starts at Jeffrey. 405 north, most of your slowing starts just past Euclid and stays heavy as you make your way up into Huntington Beach. We still have something working on the 5 south. Right as you come up to Brookhurst, I know we have reports of a crash northbound, but whatever's happening is southbound. Still really slow coming away from that 91 freeway. And the 91, that's going to be tough as you make your way through Anaheim Hills. Main line loads up just past Imperial. Next report, 6:45 from the toyotaofglendora.com, 24-hour traffic center.
Huddle up tonight. Enjoy the weekend. Lows tonight, the 30s, highs staying around 60 degrees for the next few days. Right now, Downey has 61 degrees, Pomona with 58.
It's 6:37. The House January 6th committee may recommend that the Justice Department pursue criminal charges against former President Trump. Now, those charges could include insurrection, obstructing an official proceeding, and conspiracy to defraud the U.S. Political analyst Larry Sabato says the insurrection charge, in particular, is not one to be taken lightly.
That would seem pretty obvious to people who are simply looking at January 6th, but it is a very serious charge under the Constitution and laws. And this would be quite significant given that Trump is already an announced candidate for the Republican nomination for president in 2024.
The panel will meet publicly on Monday, and the recommendation would come at that time.
President Biden was at a Delaware National Guard facility today named for his late son, Bo. He encouraged veterans to take advantage of new health care options under the PACT Act. It expands benefits and services for vets who suffered toxic exposure.
In August of this year, the bipartisan PACT Act was on my desk to sign into law. And it's one of the most significant laws in our history. There are millions of veterans who are exposed to toxic substances during their military service.
Bo Biden died of brain cancer in 2015, and exposure to burn pits in Iraq is the suspected cause.
A pandemic-era immigration law known as Title 42 will expire December 21st. That's next week. It allows for expedited expulsion of illegal migrants at the border. Now, thousands of migrants have crossed the Rio Grande into El Paso, Texas this week seeking asylum. Now, reporter Nicole D'Antonio says Congress seems unable or unwilling to act.
Congressional officials tell CBS News that negotiations on a bipartisan compromise on U.S. immigration and border policy failed to gain enough support to pass by the end of this year. 19 Republican-led states have asked an appeals court to delay the termination of Title 42.
We have a crisis on the southern border. They can't deny it.
The Department of Homeland Security has released a 6-point plan for when Title 42 is lifted, which includes resources at the border, strengthens penalties for unlawful entry, and improves the intake process. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Washington.
The Justice Department sentenced a high-profile January 6th rioter today. Scott McFarland has the latest.
Prosecutors called Doug Jensen of Iowa the poster boy of the insurrection, and the judge called him a leader of the riot before sentencing Doug Jensen to 5 years in prison. Jensen was convicted on all counts at trial earlier this year. He was at the front of the mob, confronting that lone Capitol Police officer outside the U.S. Senate January 6th, an officer who lured the mob away and saved the Senate.
That officer is Eugene Goodman, and he testified at Jensen's trial. Officer Goodman received a Congressional Gold Medal for defending the Capitol that day. The judge slammed Jensen for his lack of remorse, saying he had the opportunity to secure leniency but missed the moment.
Back home after 10 months confinement in a Russian prison on drug charges, Brittany Griner says she plans to return to the WNBA next season. She announced her intentions in an Instagram post, which is her first public statement since her release last week. Reporter Ben Jacobs.
In an emotional statement on Instagram, she touched upon a number of things from a sporting perspective. She confirmed she will play in the WNBA this season for Phoenix Mercury. We don't know at this point from a physical or mental perspective how fit she is, but all of that is really for a later time. At the moment, everyone is just glad to have her home.
The WNBA season begins in May, and TikTok is facing a ban by the U.S. It's getting serious. Details coming up after Brian checks those roads again, including having an update on that SIG alert on the 605 in Norwalk. It's 6:41.
Listen, Mahabra, if it matters to you, it's on KNX News, 97.1 FM.
Have you ever wondered how affordable Mercedes-Benz could be? Come on in and check out our inventory here at Mercedes-Benz of Valencia. We'll do our very best to get you in the Mercedes-Benz you've always wanted. Stop in and see us between the 5 and the 14 freeway, or check us out at mbzvalencia.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-530-0823. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-530-0823. That's 800-530-0823. Again, 800-530-0823.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-305-7036 if you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns. Help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-305-7036 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-305-7036 to see if you qualify. That's 800-305-7036.
Check back in on your ride home.
Or anytime on the free Odyssey app.
If it matters to you.
It's on KNX News, 97.1 FM.
I'm Brian King.
You're an Adams coming up.
I'm Art Sanders. An expert says TikTok is a Trojan horse, and moving to ban the app in the U.S. is the right thing to do.
the tentative deal between striking UC workers and the university.
Right now, 6:45. Traffic sponsored by Yamaha, resorting casino at San Manuel. Brian Douglas.
A couple issues to warn you about. 210 East before Santa Anita Avenue. 4-car crash. See the Parker Lake. And things are really tough out of downtown Pasadena. In before you get to the tunnels, just as you pass Lincoln. So that's what that slow up is. And, even once you're past that, it's a little slowing out through the 605. Westbound still slow from the 605 into Pasadena. In Pomona at 10 East before Town Avenue. A couple cars, injuries with the crash. And this is all over the left side freeway. At least that's the latest update I have. Next 10 now, they'll be coming off the 57 freeway. 605 north, it's still working here. 605 right to 105. Three right lanes still blocked. No spill. From an earlier truck crash, or big rig crash. So you've got some big delays from north 605. Alternate-wise, Studebaker to Firestone, it still looks good. They do that. Comfortable enough. Most people don't. I get it. But some, like the high top freeway, for these Studebaker, that'll work for it. 4 lanes, 2 in either direction. 5 south at the 134. Looks like we've got a stall in the left lane. You got a backup. There's a backup starting from that Burbank Boulevard. And our 110. That's when it's some of the tough drives. 110 both directions. South LA. It's really tough. 405 southbound side. Wilshire Boulevard. That's tough as well. 405 to the south bay starting to recover. Still a little slow southbound into Long Beach. Even northbound. 405 from Long Beach into Carson. You've got patches slowing there, but overall not too bad. Tower Power's going to bring their unique blend of soul and funk to Yamaha Theater February 11th. Get your tickets today at YamahaTheater.com or if you see the box office. Power live at Yamaha Theater February 11th. Must be 21 under. Their support 655. The turn at Glendora.com. 24-hour traffic center.
For partly to mostly sunny skies overnight, temperatures dipping into the upper 40s. Saturday is also rather cloudy but dry. Sunday expecting more sunshine with temperatures warm to upper 60s. The ridge of high pressure continues to be the dominant feature in the early next week. So we're going to stay dry, sunny, but even a little warmer as we head towards next week. We're Southern California's most accurate and dependable forecast from CBS meteorologist Marine. For KNX News, 37
West Covina, 56 right now. Carson, 62.
Congress voted this week to bring in a law to ban TikTok in the U.S. Our offender says the app is now one of the most popular in America among teens and people in their 20s and 30s.
The lawmakers are worried about China rejecting being able to listen in on conversations and collect data. Different concerns as out of Missouri, a digital marketing firm Interactively tells KNX TikTok is a Trojan horse.
Is using hand-controlled Chinese Communist Party, and their end goal is really, and I don't want to sound extreme here, but their end goal truly is to dominate the world.
This bill doesn't just apply to TikTok. It would order the president to use the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to block and prohibit all transactions from social media companies that are domiciled in, headquartered in, or organized under the laws of a country of concern. Art Sanders, KNX News 97.1 FM.
The first new dash line out in the East Valley in over a decade. Now, the Canadian reports from North Hollywood's Metro Rail Station.
The NoHo Dash Line will help people in the community get to work, school, shopping, and the broader LA metro area. Paul Gregorian, LA City Council President, says it's been a long time in the making.
My mom grew up in North Hollywood. When she was a child in the 30s and the 40s, she could get wherever she needed to go on public transit. That degraded and degraded. Red cars went away. Other parts of the system went away. We became very car-centric here in the valley.
General Manager of the Department of Transportation, Connie Yanis.
As many as transit providers are suffering right now, we're dealing with some challenges that have made it hard, whether we're talking about the transition to electrification or having the appropriate drivers. And we have a team that has really worked to create the efficiencies that we need.
They hope more locals use it to avoid parking and help businesses in the Arts District. Reporting from North Hollywood, Natalie City, KNX News 97.1 FM.
An LAPD task force has made more than 100 arrests and more than 300 cases of those follow-home robberies that have been plaguing LA. Our John Baird has more.
Imagine pulling into your garage and then having somebody pull up right behind you with with other people jumping out, guns in hand, demanding your valuables like your cash, your phone, jewelry. It could be a pretty frightening situation. LAPD created the Follow Home Task Force to investigate over 300 of these crimes, and investigators went on a tear and arrested 122 people, 5 for murder, 88 for robbery. Officer Matthew Cruz says investigators believe they have made a dent.
Last year in November, prior to the task force being made, there were a total of 39 incidents that we were aware of. In November of this year, 9 incidents have occurred, which is a steep decrease of 77%.
Most of these crimes occurred in the Hollywood and Wilshire areas, but Officer Cruz says it looks like the LA County DA's office has added gun enhancements in many of these cases, these violent robberies. There were 16 detectives working on the crimes, and 485 search warrants were served in taking these suspects down. John Baird, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
We're checking your money at 6:50. Here's Tracy Johnson.
Avatar: The Way of Water made $17 million in preview ticket sales, an early indication that Disney's Avatar sequel could be a big end-of-year hit for Disney and for movie theaters. Box Office Pro predicts the film will earn at least $145 million through Sunday. Christmas movies abound. Hallmark released 40 originals this year, but older Christmas films are more popular. The Wall Street Journal reports the most watched in the past month were National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, and Elf. You can count on holiday movies for Hollywood ending. Wall Street, not so much. Stocks just ended a third day and second week of losses. The Dow for the day down 282 points, the Nasdaq down 105, the S&P down 43 points. That's 1% losses today, 1.5% to 3% losses for the week. I'm Bloomberg's Tracy Johnson from the California Deluxe Windows Money Desk, KNX News 97.1 FM.
New labor laws are coming in the new year in California. Details ahead in 6:51.
The voices you trust are on LA's Morning News.
I know how important it is to get to work on time, to get to see that mother that you haven't seen in a long time, to get out of town to be on vacation. I just hope that people will know they are important to me. I know it's traffic, but I care about what you're going through.
Here's Jennifer York on LA's Morning News.
Have I told you I love you lately?
Weekdays on KNX News 97.1 FM.
If you have Medicare and Medi-Cal, you could get more with Anthem Blue Cross, like a $0 premium Medicare Advantage plan that includes medical, hospital, and prescription drug coverage, plus more than $5,000 per year in benefits like dental, vision, hearing, and over-the-counter supplies. That's more than $5,000 in benefits just for you. Call 866-336-1895 now to get more than $5,000 in extra benefits with an Anthem Medicare plan. That's 866-336-1895. Call 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. For complete details of coverage and limitations, please contact your agent with a health plan and the Blue Cross Partnership Plans, an HMO D-SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the California Medicaid program. Enrollment in Anthem Blue Cross Partnership Plan depends on contract renewal. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name for Blue Cross of California. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Cross of California Partnership Plan, Inc. are independent licensees of the Blue Cross Association. Anthem is a registered trademark of Anthem Insurance Company, Inc. Hi, Sarah. I'm sorry I'm late. The traffic is crazy. Yeah, it is. And it doesn't help that gas prices have skyrocketed. I can't believe how much it costs for gas now. Everyone's talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app? Yeah, real cash every time I buy gas. What? That sounds like it could really add up. I've made around $200 already. Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TANK33 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TANK33 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code TANK33 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas, New Jersey, Wisconsin.
This is Jacob Emron. If you've been in a truck accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
Brian's updating a crash in the 210 in Arcadia and more in a minute. It's 6:54.
A trio of new labor protections for California workers becomes law on January 1st, but it could take a while for both workers and employers to adjust to the new policies. One of the most discussed changes will be the requirement for employers to publish pay range scales for new job listings. The employment attorney Antoine Hall tells us the new law will undoubtedly help job seekers in negotiating competitive salaries, but it also means more work for businesses.
There are certain aspects of the law that would make it more difficult for employers, such as the reporting requirements. If the employer has more than 100 employees, not only do they have to report like the job title and wage rate history, which is what's currently required, but then they have to break that down by race, ethnicity, and sex. So it's not that it's a negative, it's just that it's more regulation that the employer has to comply with.
Another new law that goes into effect in the new year, California employers will now be required to excuse their workers from shifts in case of emergencies, whether it be related to health, crime, or a natural disaster. It's that time of the week where we take a moment to thank the people who bring you the news on KNX. Producer-editors Greg Hable, Brian Lowe, Brendan Liebever, and John Nuno. Writers Kathleen Mendoza and Elaine Perkins. The KNX News digital team, Seth Levin. Goodbye, good luck, Seth. Daniela DeRobio, Jeff Armfield, and Daniel Meverak. And our news production coordinators, Anthony Klingerman and John Boostar.
An agreement in the 5-week strike on UC campuses. Details ahead at 6:55.
We get a check of your traffic on the 5, sponsored by the LongBeachNutcracker.com. It's Brian Douglas.
We got a lot of slowing, but a couple big things really slowing your drive. 210 east again before Santa Anita here in Arcadia, we've got 2 left lanes taken away with a crash. So heavy out of downtown Pasadena. 10 right before Town Avenue. 10 east in Pomona. Working a crash here. It's been working for a while. That's got you heavy off of 57. Our Sigler continues. 605 north at the 105. So 3 right lanes taken away. It's a crash that happened a number of hours ago. It's a fuel spill. That's the issue there. I want to thank Larry for calling in and letting us know what's causing that big delay on that 5 out of Burbank.
Right before the 134, 5 south, left-hand lane, there's a broken down or stalled SUV or minivan or something, the 5 south, and that's got traffic backed up like way past Burbank Boulevard.
Yeah, a little delay there. Once you're past that stall, your drive will improve just slightly. Thank you again, Larry. If you're on that 105 east, as you come up to Wilmington Avenue, it looks like someone may be overheating here. And that's got you really slow off that 110. Speed of the 110, it is really slow.
Backup batteries can show what your 75 will be saying.
You know what? I haven't heard